Look at this. Bina is already commissioned. I'm sorry I put it here. It's not fully commissioned, okay?
Yes.
160,000 barrels, likely to move up to 180,000. Already they are talking of expansion. Haldia refinery work has already started for 300,000 barrels per day refinery. Cuddalore is in the project phase. Feasibility studies have been ordered. Baroda refinery expansion work is already started from 300 to 360,000 barrels per day. SR refinery upgradation work is on from 180 to 300,000 barrels per day. Katina refinery, anytime in 2012 it should be commissioned. Early 2012, 280,000 barrels. And the moment this is up, then there is a major refinery where China has sought permission to set up a 150 MMT refinery in Tamil Nadu. That is, of course, not because the feasibility study or anything has not happened. They have just said that they want land and permission to set up a 150 to 175 MMT. That means it will be almost more than double the capacity of Jamnagar. It's early stages for that. The government is considering that. There is a security objection as well. So, fine. It may take 2 years for consideration or 3 years, but look at the scale and size of operations and how they are moving, in which direction they are moving. Thank you. Any questions? Anything to do with the oil business that you want to know? If I am able to answer, I will be more than happy.
Brazil and global. There is sugar.
This is the corn route. Because India doesn't have that kind of sugar cultivation possibility across. Because we are also a net importer of sugar at this moment. As it is, as a country, we are a net importer of sugar. Similarly for alcohol, industrial alcohol or ethanol, we are net importers. So I cannot talk about converting industrial alcohol to biofuel and have a problem in another area. That's why I'm not talking about that. I'm saying get 5,000 square kilometers of land and plant corn and use that. Because one corn is a very sturdy crop. It doesn't require too much of care and attention and it can go in any kind of time. That is the reason I'm talking about corn. But yes, sugar root is usually good.
But corn has met a lot of opposition in terms that it is eating away into the...
I'm not an environmental. I'm talking here as the energy industry guy. Right? Yes, if you were to have over-reliance on any particular crop in any particular area, there will be biological issues to take care of. Right? For example, the moment I talk of genetic modification, then some guy will wake up and some objection will come from some quarter. Right? Those kind of things will have to be handled. All I'm saying is that if you are serious, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that we should necessarily go that route. No. As I said in the earlier part of my presentation, that oil is around at least in our lifetime. If that is the situation, why should we worry? Unless 100 साल तक oil है. तो 100 साल के बाद में दुनिया रहेगी नहीं रहेगी किसको पता है? For all you know, man may make enough mistake and the whole world may collapse. So why should we worry about that far in time? 100 साल is long enough. Right? But jokes apart, the second thing that you also need to consider is that science can only give you possible solutions, or industry can only give you a possible solution. Which of those possible solutions you adopt will be determined by social, religious, political and other objections and needs. You take into account that the political or the leadership, the strategic leadership of any country will have to take a call. Which route they take to meet which objective. Science or scientists will only throw up options. Science gave you an option of cloning. Your social or church objection said, no, cloning is not good. You said, all right. They gave you option of genetic modification of seed. Some countries adopted it, some said no to this. No. India said no to BT brinjal. They said no, fine. Science doesn't say whether you take or you don't take. They said, I have developed this, you take it or leave it. If you want more brinjals, take this. If you want more cotton, take this. If you don't want it, fine. Science is only showing up options. Science is not to take care of moral and other considerations.
What is the future
which strategy you are following? They have $10 billion in cash reserves. So, what are they planning to use? I mean, they are not setting up any new revenue.
Said who?
Sir, in the slide you showed.
I said only for Jamnagar. I said that upcoming plans for Jamnagar. I didn't say upcoming plans for Reliance.
So, what are the future strategies? Like they are.
You see, Reliance has got its fingers in many pies. It has one arm which says retail, organized retail. That's one. Second arm says broadband. Third arm says organized retail, petroleum. Fourth arm says SEZ. Fifth arm says hospital, chain of hospitals. Sixth arm says I want to set up chain of international schools and educational institutions and universities. There is a competing demand which says I want to buy shale gas reserves all over the world. There is another division which says we want to do this. So the management of the company will have to take a balanced call from time to time on where they want to deploy this. For example, last year itself, we have sold a 30% stake in KG Basin assets and invested in Pioneer and Carazo shale fields, equivalent of about $7 billion. 7 billion, 7 point some billion we sold, 7 point odd billion we invested, and we still are sitting on a huge pile of cash, equivalent of about 10 billion. Yeah. So it's not as if we are not continuously evaluating. If you recall, part of my presentation which I said that India produces about 850 or 40,000 barrels a day of crude in Indian geography. And 400,000 barrels in our share of assets abroad. Who owns those assets? Partly Reliance. Reliance has interest in Yemen, in Syria, in Cambodia, in Venezuela, and in Vietnam. And we are all the time looking. We have acquired Gamco, a retailing company in East Africa, which is already doing $1 billion turnover in the fourth year. Right? It has about 700 gas stations and terminals and stuff like that. So we are on the move all the time. Now, it will be premature on my part to talk about such deals because such deals are always going to remain hush. They will be announced only when completed. There are a lot of things happening. And those announcements will be made not by me or people like me or people even my senior to me. They will be made by Mr. Amani when the time is right. Let's not prejudge any of those. There are lots of things happening. And let me tell you, as I said, please don't underestimate that particular quote of Mr. Dhirubhai Ambani, which he said, what is good for Reliance is good for India, what is good for India is good for Reliance. I think that must have at the back of your mind when you are talking in reference to Reliance. Because we never do anything which is only good for the company. We always have this lurking at the back of our mind because our scale of operations is so huge that we cannot be doing anything which is detrimental to national interest. That's all I think. Any questions?
So this is related to the latest buzz, like RIL is having a joint venture with BP to market the shale gas, market the natural gas. Where already the GAIL is commenting it won't, like they don't have an infrastructure to market and their price definitely will be more than what they are offering. So what is the like long-term strategy this Reliance and this India Gas Solutions is going to follow?
I don't think this is relevant with the subject.
It's related to
but, and I am not an expert on gas. Let me be very frank. I am not an expert on gas. I would not like to second guess any of my colleagues. But broadly, I think it is too early to be commenting. That was a statement made in what context I don't know. It is too early. BP, the ink on that BP Reliance agreement has still not dried. There is so much work to do. It will be at least 6 to 7 years before the first ounce of that gas comes into your and my house. At least 6 to 7 years. Now whether they will be doing trade marketing or whether they will be doing B2C, I don't really know. It is too early. As it is, we are facing difficult times on account of the drop in production. So let us not talk about what is the outcome of the BP deal. It's too early.
As we see that petroleum price has been liberalized, does RIL willing to get back to retailing again of petroleum?
We want that to happen. We want nothing.
Now the petroleum price.
We want nothing It has not been deregulated.
Some sort of
No,
petrol.
diesel, where is it deregulated? There is a subsidy of 10 rupees.
I'm talking about motor spirit.
See, look at the numbers here, please. The national consumption of motor spirit is 233,000 barrels per day. HSV is 875. Okay, almost 3.5 times. That is taking into account the whole economy, whole country. When you take into account the highway section, that is where we were. Reliance does not have any gas stations in the cities. The motor spirit contribution to our business was less than 5%. Now, on 5%, would it be viable for me to resume operations when I am only worried about 5% of the volumes? I cannot sustain my business here. I need HSD to be deregulated completely before I lecture back. Otherwise, it makes no difference to me. मैं export करके पैसे कमाऊंगा, मुझे क्या करना? Please understand. If the government does not want you as a consumer to benefit, it is not allowing fair competition. So we are not losing. हमने तो जो lose करना था वो तो capex थी एक बार sunk, it's a sunk cost for us. Please understand. As Reliance, as some company which is sitting on 10 billions of cash, what is 4,500 crores here? With a few days of profit, right? So it is a sunk cost. We said, ठीक है यार इसको डाल दिया मिट्टी में डालो, खत्म. वो land बेच के निकल जाएगा उतना पैसा. I'm telling you, if I was to sell the sites of all my gas stations, I will make more profit than I will make in the next 100 years by selling fuel. For example, I'll give you, not too far from your institute, we have a site of 11 acres, which we bought at 22 lakhs an acre. यहाँ से 6 किलोमीटर 7 किलोमीटर आगे है. क्या रेट होगा वहाँ पे जमीन का? हाईवे के ऊपर है. And we have opening on the road. क्या रेट होगा वहाँ पे बताओ? आज की तारीख में 15 करोड़ रुपए एकड़ है. मैंने 22 लाख रुपए एकड़ खरीदी है 11 साल पहले. तो मेरे को क्या फर्क पड़ता? मैं सारी जिंदगी में पेट्रोल बेच के डीजल बेच के उतने पैसे नहीं कमा सकता. बाबर के अंदर मेरे पास 26 एकड़ जगह है. वहाँ पे मैंने खरीदी थी 4 लाख रुपए एकड़. आज वहाँ पे 50 लाख रुपए एकड़. तो to me, that money which I invested in land or retail business is not a loss. The longer I allow to sit, the more profit I make. Inflation में, which is the best bet. Land, I have land. मेरे को क्या प्रॉब्लम है? मेरे पास SEZ के अंदर 15,000 एकड़ जमीन है. मुझे क्या फर्क है? मत लगाओ SEZ मेरा क्या है? You see, if you allow me to put an SEZ, I will put a railway station, I will put a hospital, I will put a radio station, I will put this station, that station, bus station, gas station, everything. If you don't allow me, 15,000 acre is land, I will sell it back as land. Which I bought for 4 lakhs an acre, I will sell it for 44 lakhs an acre and make more profit. Please understand. You see, the problem in India is, anytime anybody has a big scheme, you start looking at it with objections rather than as facilitators. That is the problem in the mindset. The government is not a facilitator. I'll give you an example. I deal with Western Europe. They have something called advanced tax rulings. Are you aware? Have you heard this word? Advanced tax ruling. Even before I decide to enter Germany or Belgium or Holland or Denmark, I go to the tax authorities and say, this is the concept I have. If I was to bring this product from here to here, what is the tax implication? And he rules in advance even before I have brought the first drop of oil. Right? He gives me an advance ruling. If you were to do this operation like this is the implication on tax, and that you will be taxed at 11.5%, and this 11.5% will be calculated in this manner. It is laid down in writing. Does India have that kind of a policy? Enabling? No. You call the shells and the PPs and the TPs of the world to invest in development, and when they come and invest and sink crores and crores of rupees, then you say, no, you can't do this, you can't do this, profit sharing will be like this, production sharing will be like this, repayment, no, it won't be 10 years, it will be 24 years. What is this nonsense? You should have one consistent policy, frame it, fix it, and forget about it. Right? That is what is missing. That is why people are reluctant Why in LULP4 we did not get so many international bidders to come and make bids? Only because of this uncertainty. Next questions?
In the list that you showed regarding the factors that affect oil prices, can we add storage or contangos to that list as well?
No, there will be many more. But broadly, the macroeconomic indicators that impact oil prices are there. I mean, yes, contango will be a contributory factor, yes, but very insignificant role. The larger will be the logistics. Much larger role will be played by logistics. For example, non-availability of tankers and the prices will start climbing vertically. Even if there is a 4-day gap, for 4 days, can you expect, let's say in America, the stations going dry? Can you expect that? So even if you have to buy at 100 rupees more per gallon or 100 rupees more per ton, they'll say go ahead, yeah. It's only a question of $1 million, $2 million. Company will not afford or will not like their pumps to go dry. Things like that. Yeah.
So America has SPS for 6 months. America has SPS for strategic petroleum reserves for 6 months. So won't they pump into if the petrol price spikes vertically?
This is again strategic petroleum reserves are nothing but a reality of ensuring energy security, right? Because the dependence on oil is so great that you do not want a disruption. So Iraq has a war and everybody stopped driving cars. They don't want that to happen, right? There is some problem in Iran and they don't want all the cinema halls in America to go without air conditioning. They don't want that. So they are making sure that they continue to lead a life that they become used to, even if there is a war in Afghanistan, or there is a war in Iraq, or there is a regime change in Libya, or there is a problem or violence or riot in some part of the country. Basically, you are ensuring. So, how many days strategic reserve you will keep is again enough decision which the political leadership takes, taking into view their political relationships with their suppliers, their economic health, and their oil industry.
This is the last question.
Sir, as you have shown, there are very less refineries for the production. So, why don't Reliance is looking for some new refineries as their project management is very strong?
I would not like to comment on this, save except to say that when the right time comes, you will hear an announcement made by Mr. Mukesh Gilbert-Mann. And I am not confident he gets that announcement.
Why is she waiting?